Here we are, back again by popular demand. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name is Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'll be talking about nose art. No, not those gross, like I don't know, piercings that people get. Like, ugh. Like how do you blow your nose? Must it be get cold in the wintertime? We're not talking about that. We're talking about airplane nose art. So this was a request from, I believe it was Daniel that requested that. Somebody did on my last show right at the very end as I was logging out. It's like, hey, talk about nose art or, like airplane art. So, okay, sure. We do take requests on the Super Pilotish channel. So, I didn't, as usual, I don't prepare too much for my show, but it's like they don't pay me enough for that. But, anyways, I'm going to be, I looked into it, and so I was thinking, like, what's the most important thing or the most notable piece of artwork that you would see on the side of a plane? Oh, hey, Jordan. And so, you think about like the old World War II bombers and things like that. They might have, I don't know, something like the Enola Gay, let's drop some nukes. No thanks. But yeah, there's that. And then, I've been to a few different airplane museums here and there, and all the planes back then, they would have art on them, and so I was kind of looking into it a bit more, like just a little bit before the show, and the so like why would people do that, and when did they start doing that? So the idea of having art on the side of an airplane or really interesting painting or design on an airplane, it goes right back to the very beginning of airplanes. So, as soon as there's an airplane, guys want to make it look cool. So let's put some stuff on it, right? So I don't know. I wonder if they ever had like a Model T that had like a flame job on it. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I was looking into that, and turns out like back in World War One, yeah, they started making things look like fish and birds and stuff like that, because uh it's like, well, I mean, it's kind of aerodynamic, like kind of like a fish. It's kind of big at the front, tail at the back. I don't know, I guess you can kind of make it look like a fish. And then so I apparently, the bosses back then, the unit commanders or whoever's in charge, they're like, oh yeah, let's keep the morale up. And a lot of the chicks that got painted on the side of airplanes and stuff, it was like the guys' girlfriends or wives or whatever, thinking of them back home. So it's like, yeah, what the heck, let the boys do that. And so that was that. But I did see this really cool article, and I kind of skimmed it really quick, and it was from Vintage Wings. And I'll be showing you a little bit of art here. But yeah, so this one article, I'm going to link to it after the show. I usually put in links and things like that. And this Vintage Wings organization is at the Gatineau Airport, like just across the Ottawa River from Ottawa. And I actually went there once before with with a buddy of mine, because we went down there, and Vintage Wings is like a class act. Like, I mean, it is like a really awesome aviation museum. All the planes are either getting worked on to be in flyable condition, or they're all like a lot of them are flyable condition, and they go all over the place to air shows and stuff like that. So Vintage Wings, I really have a soft spot for them, and they do fantastic work, and you can eat off the floors in there. It was so clean. So I'll just tell you a little bit about that, then I'll show you some pictures. So I went to for a while there, I would go to Ottawa for Canada Day, and if you ever go to Ottawa for Canada Day, that is really cool. Oh, hey, Shecky. Yeah, it's just a big party. So I guess if you're a little younger, you can have a little bit more fun with it. But there was a buddy of mine, and he was taking French language training in the Air Force in Bagotville, Quebec. So I was living in Sudbury, so we figured, hey, let's meet up on Canada Day back in Ottawa. So hung out with him, and I don't know if he's still in the Air Force. I think the last I heard from him, he was on an exchange program teaching how to do low level flying over in Wales, I think it was. But pretty cool. I don't know if he's back yet. You kind of lose touch with people over the years, but so we met up in Ottawa, and like, hey, let's go see if we could go check out Vintage Wings. So yeah, he had a car, so yeah, we drove over there, and and the thing is, like, I don't even know if they do tours anymore. Like, you're supposed to like sign up in advance and get it like a group tour. We just thought, hey, we're pilots, let's just show up. So, anyways, so we show up and there's like no one in the parking lot. Or like we thought it was like some kind of museum or something, but it's kind of like a private collection of planes and stuff. So we just show up and we're like, hey, the door's locked. Oh man, we got to go back. And then some guy came driving up and in his Mercedes, and he just kind of rushed out and ran in the building. And he said, oh, are you guys here for a tour? And we're like, yeah, I guess. And he just let us in the building. But it turns out that was the rich guy that owns all the airplanes. A really nice guy. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, you got, and we're like, yeah, we're pilots. We just wanted to check this out. Oh, you're pilots? Okay. Just go in, look around, don't touch anything. We're like, oh, cool. So he went in there, jumped into his flight suit, and hopped into his Spitfire and revved it up and took off. It was like pretty cool. And he didn't even do a walk around on the plane. He had his mechanic do the walk around on the plane for him. Pretty cool. And yeah, we were kind of like walking around here. Oh, that's a cool plane. That's a cool plane. And at the time, they were just starting to. This was a few years back. They got the guts of a P-40 Warhawk, and they were kind of rebuilding it from scratch. And it's like all wood stringers and ribs and stuff like that. It was just barely getting put together. Oh, that's cool. And then so I could kind of see out of the corner of my eye all the other volunteers and workers that were getting a little antsy. Like, who are these freaks hanging around? And we're like, oh, cool airplane. And then so we went. You could see like somebody said, yeah, you go watch these two guys here, make sure they don't, I don't know, mess something up or steal something. And then so I don't know. I don't even know if you're supposed to pay to go in there. But anyways, guy was nice, showed us all around. And I mean, the workshop there, they all had like brand new tools, and like it was spotless in there. And apparently the hangar was built to the plans of an old World War II hangar from England or something. And the roof was solid 2x4s. So like it was like hurricane proof or something. But anyways, oh hey Brian, I see you popping in here. Yep. So anyways, getting to it. Getting to showing you some artwork here. And then so yeah, Vintage Wings. Okay, now I'm getting around to, I saw this article of Vintage Wings. They also do a lot of very good photography and history and write-ups on airplanes, older airplanes. Very good resource to check out. And so yeah, and I saw this article about the origin of the shark mouth on airplanes. And so let's see if I can show you a shark mouth. Here we go. I did set up my extra monitor for this one here. Ooh. Which one do I do here? Screen 1 or screen 2? Screen 2. Oh, that should work. Okay, there we go. So that is what a little shark mouth looks like on a P-40 Warhawk. And then so that was it's kind of like, that's what you think of when you think of a P-40 Warhawk airplane. And so apparently that was the 74th, 75th, and 76th fighter groups in the United States had that put on there. And then that's what the and this I'm kind of going off my non-existent script here, but it's like I was reading Kim Campbell's book called Flying in the Face of Fear, and her squadron, she flew the A-10 Warthog, and she said in her book that it's the same fighter squadron or whatever as the P-40 Warhawks, and that's why the A-10s have their super cool shark teeth. Ooh, that looks pretty scary. Yep, that's and that's a great big monster Gatling gun right there. So the shark isn't smoking a cigar. And yeah, so that was I don't know if it was there to like intimidate people, but in this article I was reading from Vintage Wings, it's like the Germans got, they got the jump on that with this. There was like a twin engine bomber. That's what I used for my thumbnail for this, and the twin engine bomber. What was it called? The AEG G4, and apparently at the Aviation Museum up in not the Vintage Wings Museum, but the National Air and Space Museum in Ottawa. Apparently, they have one of these things, one of these AEG G4s. So, and that was in 1916 when the first shark mouth was recorded and stuff like that. So, what else can we do here? I was just kind of looking through. It was like all I did was like, what are we gonna check out? And then like, oh, and then I did this, and I went, oh, here we go. That's some redheaded chick with some red high-heeled shoes and a red dress. And the name of that plane is Major Distraction. So that's pretty. It looks to me like that's I don't know, like a T6 Texan or Harvard or something like that. There we go. I'll just talk about like random Google pictures that I get here. Let's take another look. Oh, here's one here. What's that? What kind of plane is that? Is that a chipmunk? Whoop, it doesn't want to show it anonymously. Yeah, that is a chipmunk. And it's a British one because it doesn't have the the Canadian chipmunks have like a bubble canopy, and then the chipmunks in the United Kingdom, they had like, they call it the greenhouse, so it was kind of less room for your head in there, and it was kind of like a greenhouse with little flat panels of glass. Hey, what do we got here? Yeah, that's another thing too, that they had like 162 Skidoo. Let's see this one here. So back then, like, can you imagine someone putting like an Indian on the side of a plane now? It's like, ooh, that's all racist and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe it was an Indian pilot, something like that. But oh, actually, what was it? The pilot, Captain Perry J. Dahl. I guess he's not an Indian, maybe. But and then they'd have like naked chicks and topless chicks and stuff like that on their airplanes too. So we will not show that because we don't talk about that on my show. Now, what else we got here? I could go through and see a few of these things. What else? We got some warthogs. What else? Okay. Well, anyways, there we go. What's this? Takeoff time. Ooh, that one looks pretty good. There you go. That's somebody's good girlfriend right there. So, anyways, yeah, we that's about. I don't know. That's all I kind of wanted to. Didn't really have like too much to talk about that, other than how do I get rid of this stop screen? Hey, there we go. Okay, so there's your. There you go, Daniel. Just talking a little bit about the shark mouth, which is like it was used in this article that I read in off the Vintage Wings, vintagewings.ca website. That like everybody was drawing the shark mouth on their airplane. The Germans, the British, the Americans. They had a picture of a Belgian group there, Swedish. So everybody liked the shark. Well, looks pretty cool. So, and yeah, what else? There we go. So if you ever want to, I don't know, boost your morale, just put a picture of your girlfriend on your car or something. I don't know. And I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That's just weird. It's like, and it brings down the resale value of your car too, probably, depending on how good she looks. So, anyways, okay. Yeah, I ain't got much other than that for you, Daniel. What else do I know about that? Nah, what else can I tell you, man? Yeah. Oh, another thing there too was that the safety doc, David Broden, he kind of popped in on my last show, and he was saying that the EAA museum in was it EAA museum in Oshkosh? He was saying that they had a a nose art exhibit there. But it turns out I was Googling that and I wanted to talk about that. But of course, it's not going on anymore. So it was 2015. It was kind of touring around this collection of nose art. And they had one section, apparently the X-rated section, so the kids couldn't look at it. So, oh well, there we go. Hey, what the heck? I mean, you're getting shot at and stuff like that. You might as well have some good scenery around, right? So, okay, what else we got here? Okay, I'm just gonna go through some comments and stuff like that. Wrap it up. Days today, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we're off to like a okay start. Like not all the shows can be barn burners. What else we got here? Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. You lived in Gatineau and Ottawa and never went. It depends on what years you were living there, Jordan. But yeah, if you ever are in Ottawa, like I did pop in at it's the national, like, what is it? Canadian Aviation Space Museum there. Like here in Windsor, it's called the Canadian Aviation Museum. The one in Ottawa is the Canadian Aviation and Space one. And that's a really cool museum to see. It's you got some really cool stuff there. Actually, airplane museums are always cool. So, and or like and then another thing too, if you like car museums and stuff, over in Detroit at the Henry Ford Museum, yeah, that's a really cool one out in Dearborn. Okay. Thumbnail plane looks sick. Not the slang kind of sick either. Yeah. Well, hey man, they were just getting that one was the 1916 German twin airplane. So I don't know. Maybe all the good German artists were I don't know. they're all painting camouflage for the war. Okay. All right. And Brian, our current motorhead here, was always partial to the menacing Woody Woodpecker smoking a big number. Yeah. The thrush mufflers. I was thinking about, I was looking online to see if I could get a sticker with the Woody Woodpecker with the cigar sticking out like that. And I wanted to stick it on my lawnmower that Brian rebuilt and, and sold to me. It's like, it would look cool because it's red. Like it would look good with that, but I haven't found quite the right sticker. I'd like to stick that on there. I was almost thinking about putting on my lawnmower, which I used again, Brian, yesterday. Still works great. And yeah, I was going to put something on there like the Brian 2000 on it or something. So if it gets stolen, I'll be like, yeah, give me the Brian 2000 back. But we'll see. I'm running out of the only paint markers I have left now are I got a yellow one. I got a couple red ones, color match for my car. Oh well. All right. All right. What's Shecky got to say here? Shecky finds most all art interesting. Cool subject. I sold a 100-year-old painting at the flea market yesterday. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like I did kind of think that was yeah, I don't know. Any kind of art is pretty cool. I kind of have an eclectic taste on that. So I agree. Art is cool. What's this? I went to the strip museum in the Netherlands. Okay. Yeah, I would talk about an interesting. I know somebody that went to a museum in Iceland, and it's a museum of things that I don't discuss on my show because I don't talk about politics, religion, skin pigmentation, or genitalia. And there's a genitalia museum in Iceland, in Reykjavik, and they have the largest collection in the world of genitalia. It's pretty wild. I know one guy who was going there with his girlfriend and he was all pissed off because he didn't want to go. And then I told him, dude, you got to go to the genitalia museum in Reykjavik. He's like, what? I said, oh yeah, we got to go. So anyways, I don't know, that kind of like perked his he perked his interest up, so to speak. And it's like he came back. I was like, dude, did you end up going to that museum that I heard about was there? He's like, oh yeah, that's the first thing we did as soon as we landed. I'm like, okay, dude. But yeah, nice. But we don't talk about that here. Okay. Thanks for coming in here, everybody. Today is Monday, so that means I'll be back on Wednesday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern, and we'll just kind of shut her down here. Thanks everybody for the idea. Hopefully, I answered some of your questions or whatever, and that's about it. We'll kind of shut her down. So thank you for watching. Bye.